All right, we got an interesting one for you today. It is the tale of two Ferraris, and by that I mean Ferrari is as an actual Ferrari, and Ferrari as in Cadillac Ferrari, because Cadillac is running a Ferrari engine, I think at least until 2028. And so I've got thoughts on both of those stemming from articles that I researched. We are 10 days away from the first race of the Formula One 2026 season. I'm very excited about that. It's going to be a departure from what we saw over the last 4 years. Vehicles that were very, very big, very, very low slung, susceptible to floor damage and performance damage, difficult to pass, and overall, I feel like it was perhaps the malaise era of Formula One in terms of just overall enjoyment of watching a race. Knock wood that the 2026 season and the new regs do not do the same. The cars are 50% electric, which I vehemently disagree with. I think that it's more complicated than they need to be. The drivers are already complaining about that, and you're seeing the overtake button causing cars to run out of juice before the end of a straight. Nobody wants to see that, especially the drivers. But guess what? I think that the cars look good going around the track, and I think they actually sound a little bit better too. I can't remember, was it the MGUK or MGUH, something that they got rid of, and I think that opens up the exhaust note. I know that not everybody's a fan, but I am, and I don't have to drive those cars, so I can just watch them. I can enjoy watching them going around in big old squiggly circles, as can you, and I don't have to drive them. This is the first time, I think this is the first time I've ever said to myself, man, at least I don't have to drive a Formula One car of this regulation. Not that I ever had the choice, but it's the first time I've actually been like, nah, I'm good. I'll leave it to the pros. I will leave it to the pros. All right, let's talk about Ferrari and Cadillac. We're almost 3 minutes in, and I've just been rambling about my hopefulness. So, interesting talking points from Lando Norris, and he is both subtly and not so subtly placing Lewis Hamilton back up toward the top of the grid. This is I'm referring to a story from F1 Oversteer, and Lando Norris was at an event and he publicly backed Lewis Hamilton for the 2026 title fight. We've seen in the testing, in the Bahrain testing and in Barcelona and whatnot, that the Ferrari power unit is pretty robust. The Ferrari car itself is pretty fast, and they've even got that weird twisty rear wing. I don't know if it does anything for speed, but it looks very cool. Ollie Bierman says that he thinks that it is heavy, but he was behind Lewis Hamilton on track and he saw it happen and he was like, what? So by the time another Formula One driver is flabbergasted, to use an old-timey word, about tech on a Formula One car, something special, I think, has happened. So 2026, we've got new regulations, lighter cars, smaller cars, completely revamped power unit, and from the sounds of it, they're cars that favor Lewis Hamilton's driving style. Lewis Hamilton is pretty well known for his late braking, and for some reason or another, and I'm not going to get into the technical details because I do not have them in my head, for some reason or another, the last regulation of cars did not help with Lewis Hamilton's late braking, and that is part of his secret sauce. And it led to some pretty disappointing results for Lewis Hamilton from 2022 all the way up until 2026. But there's another thing that goes in Hamilton's favor, and that's the fact that he's a manager. He is a tire manager. He is a hybrid electric discharge, electric distribution, whatever, deployment manager. Let's not forget how successful he was in 2014 when the new hybrid era came along. It's not just, mashing the gas and going fast, although we do love to see that. There's a little bit of strategy that's going on as well. Now, Lando Norris did refer to Hamilton arguably deserving 8 titles. I always say that he's a 7.5-time world champion. Lando Norris has taken it one further and said that he is an 8. I hesitate on my end to say a full 8, but hey, if it's good enough for Lando Norris to say, it's good enough for me to say on the petrol list that a main driver thinks so. Here's the other thing. Drivers have access to data and telemetry and practices that we don't see, to conversations that we don't hear. And it's more than just lap times and stuff like that that informs drivers about who is going to be the favored driver for a given team or for a given year or for a given, set of regulations. And it sounds like maybe Lando Norris is privy to some conversations that we don't know, and that Ferrari is going to be backing him. I'm going to read a couple of bullet points from my research that back up my claims that Hamilton might just be in for a good 2026. The real question is, can Ferrari give Hamilton a car that is stable enough at the rear under the active aero transitions? Hamilton struggles most with the unstable rear platforms under braking rotation, and if Ferrari delivers a car with rear stability in the new era, given that the Ferrari power unit is both strong and fast, if the car handles the way Hamilton likes it, then I see, hopefully, some podiums in Hamilton's future. Now, it might sound trivial to think that, the car has to have a stable rear or whatnot, but let's not forget how much very specific handling characteristics play into the success and failures of drivers. The rumored T-valve in the Red Bull car gave the RB19? That was the monster car. Gave the RB19 extremely pointed steering, a very sharp front end, very reactive, and it suited Max Verstappen's driving style, and we all saw the results of that. So perhaps that kind of thing is going to work in Hamilton's favor with a chassis that likes to brake, that has a stable rear, and then likes to rotate out of the corners, just like Hamilton likes to do. Let's talk really quickly about the competitive landscape in 2026. I'm just gonna talk really high level, some bullet points. Red Bull's engine partnership shift, they went from Honda to Ford, and apparently the battery unit is good. Not perfect, but good. Mercedes is rebuilding, and I think they're going to be rebuilding quite well. I think 2026 is going to be a battle between Mercedes and Ferrari, that's going to be sensational for the sport. Followed up with a battle between Red Bull and McLaren, also sensational for the sport. And then Audi is entering. I love Audis. I'm not surprised that the Audi F1 car had overheating issues. I mean, after all, it is an Audi, and Cadillac is entering as well. And, right now, There's no dominant carryover guaranteed. And it's like that quite often with new regulations, but this is such a departure from the last one that we really don't know what is going to happen. All I know is that if I'm counting smiles per gallon, Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, Kimi Antonelli, and George Russell seem to have been smiling the most. So I think that might be an indicator. And ladies and gentlemen, that is pure science, of course. Let's talk about the other Ferrari. I mean, the other Ferrari, because Haas, I think, is going to be upper mid tier. And of course, we got to talk about Cadillac. Two great drivers. I've been watching some of the series on Cadillac, and they are pretty dang serious with their sims. They, I think, picked two great drivers in Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas. Very experienced race winners, and if anybody can help a new team figure out how to get things done, it's going to be those two guys. I don't think that success with the Cadillac Formula One team is necessarily going to be about scoring a whole bunch of points. Definitely isn't going to be about, battling for the championship, and probably not even battling for podiums. It's going to be, I think, more, and this does stem from the story from motorsport.com. It's going to stem more from completing the race distances consistently, avoiding hydraulic and electrical failures, pit stops that average under 3 seconds, and that's difficult to do. Try doing anything in 3 seconds. Try, where's my phone? Took me more than 3 seconds to locate my phone, pick it up, and unlock it. So yeah, it's difficult to do. No operational chaos, just smooth running and aero updates that actually correlate with gains, because that shows that they can do research mid-season, apply it to the car, and that is what makes cars competitive throughout the whole season. Teams do research and development all season long, and the only way that works is if you keep bringing the good updates. And if you can't do that, then you are going to be stuck in the back with the pack. So this is what the article in motorsport.com said that Cadillac's strategic timeline is going to be. This is what you're really supposed to be looking out for. And it's slow. The cars are fast, but the development is slow. The cars are fast, but making them competitive and, climb the ladder up into competition, that is slow. So year 1, 2026, the focus is going to be on reliability, operational polish, and no embarrassment. If Cadillac has a non-eventful year, that's a win. Years 2 and 3, points consistency. Picking up a point or two every other race, that is going to be a good thing for them. And then they're going to be, fighting in the midfield. And then after 4 years, 4 years plus, after they have gotten some history with their aero, history with their power units, and history with how their research, their R&D lines up with the upgrades and improvements that they bring throughout the season, that is when they're going to be more competitive. So look at year 4 plus for real ambition. And to be honest, to think that Cadillac is going to be fighting for podiums in year 2026, that is a bit unrealistic. I would not think that that's going to happen. And I think that there is a little bit of the same progression arch for Audi as well. It feels like forever. Since I've put together one of these videos. And I will tell you what. Does anybody remember Malcolm in the Middle? There's that video, that meme of Hal changing a light bulb and then he finds out that the drawer is squeaky, and then he finds out that he's out of WD-40, and then like something's wrong with his car, and he ends up like rebuilding, like pulling the engine. Well, that's what happened with this build. I started off actually only wanting to upgrade my VR, and I bought a cable. The cable was going to be used with this MetaQuest 2, and the cable only kind of worked, so I got a MetaQuest 3 thinking that that would solve the issue, and the MetaQuest 3 wasn't that much better than the MetaQuest 2, so I ended up returning it. And then I was like, well, let me get a screen instead. Well, one screen turned into 3 screens, and then 3 screens turned into, well, while I'm at it, I may as well get a Moza R5. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to get the Moza R5, I may as well get, you know, the entire ecosystem. So I ended up with a shifter and SRP pedals. And I was like, well, if I'm going to be playing around with more Newton meters, then I'm probably going to need a new wheel stand. And lo and behold, it has turned into an entire thing. I'm very happy to have a new sim setup, but I took it a lot further than I thought I was going to. And so for that reason, well, not for that reason, but I'm going to be doing a sim challenge channel. It's called the Petrolist Sim Challenge. I already have some pre-recorded videos. I've already got some pre-recorded videos up there, but at some point I do actually want to stream and see just how far I can get with my iRacing rating. I qualify to get back up to an A license as soon as the season is over, or if I want to get a couple more tenths of a safety point, then I can do a mid-season promotion to A license. But this time I'm going to try not to lose my A license again and actually take it serious, right? Okay, I'm going to show you the comparison between the old equipment and the new equipment, and then I'm gonna bounce because I still have to edit this video before I get it out. I'll be right back to show you. All right, so this is the old wheel, G920 or 923 or I don't know, something, whatever this thing is. It still works perfectly fine, but as you can see, it is quite entry level. And here's the new stuff. The Moza wheel from the Moza ecosystem, and it's got a load cell brake. I'm already trimming time for my laps, which I'm pretty happy about. But anyhow, I've been Dalton. This has been the Petrolist, and you've been great. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.